Hey everybody, so today we're going to be reviewing Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
You can push yourself to the limit, be strong and jump with me. You can fly above.
So Tatsunoko and Capcom. Capcom's like a video game maker. They're really popular with fighting games especially. But Tatsunoko, it's like not as well known in the US, definitely. And they only really made cartoons in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. Some of you might know them as making Speed Racer, but that's really only the most popular thing they made outside of Japan. So this game was a fighting game that was released in 2008 in Japan only. And a lot of people weren't expecting it to come out in the US, but it came out, and really glad it did.
It was pretty amazing though, since this game just recently came out, and since this game was really like released in Japan in 2008, just to think that in 2008 this is like the graphics and what it looks like, so you can just imagine what their next game would be looking like.
Yeah, so and just from the footage you can definitely tell it's from Japan. It's all like colorful, there's a bunch of rainbows everywhere, and like this like music, it just sounds like Japanese. So even though there's been a bunch of versus games, I feel this is really the true successor to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It really feels like it's the best one of the bunch since then. So if you can't tell, it's a 2D fighting game, although the graphics are in 3D, and the main objective is, to drain your opponent's health bar or bars, because actually in this game, each player fights in a team of 2 characters that can switch, and you can switch back and forth between them.
And also, I really like the idea of how you could pick 2 characters and switch in between, so it's not like you're playing as one character, and then let's say your health gets down really low, and you're gonna die in one hit. It's not like, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna die, we just should end the game now. There's no chance of me winning. You could actually switch your character, and your other character would have a full health bar, because the character's health is separate from each other.
So, like any fighting game, you have your standard arcade modes, which is basically you go through about 8 stages, I think, and then the last stage you encounter a final boss. You get the character's ending, and yeah, that's the way you unlock characters. You get a certain number of character endings, and you unlock them. So, and you also have survival mode. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just survive as long as possible. Time attack mode, again, self-explanatory. Versus, where you fight against your friend. It's local. And online mode, which is, it's really good. There's a lot of options. There's almost no lag when you're fighting. The only problem I found with online mode, really, is that sometimes it can take, like, a couple minutes to find an opponent for you, but that's really the only thing.
Well, also, sometimes it's kind of hard to win when you're just starting to play this game. There are people online who are, like, really good. Like, you could get matched up with, I think there's, like, rankings for people, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you could get matched up with, like, an expert in the game, and you're just a beginner, and then he, like, does some super combo on you, and you're dead right away, which is, I think they need a better way of matching players up.
Yeah, like, advanced players will find out how to use these really advanced moves, and you're just starting out. So that was frustrating in the beginning. So like I said, the online mode is really good, but it really depends on your connection, whether or not there's lag. Like, because I had no lag, but I'm sure but I have a very good connection, and I'm sure other people, they're gonna have lag. So this game, unlike most fighting games, relies on 3 different buttons to use, like main attack buttons. There's medium, strong, and light attacks, and instead of 6. And it caters to beginners and advanced players alike. It's really easy to get into, and it's actually still pretty fun to dish out combos. Even though it's really simple, it's like caters to the whole Wii idea. It's like easy to get into, and you can like pick it up and play.
Also, they have like this, like the special moves, and then they also have like the super special moves. So the special moves are basically like you do your special moves. So like for Ryu, he shoots out some like blast thing out of his hands, and all these other characters do all this like electricity stuff and just like crazy stuff like that, and you get these bars at the bottom of the screen that fill up as you punch and get hit, and that's basically like if it's full, then you could do a combo, and if it gets up to 5, you get your maximum, where you could do like a really like powerful one.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are actually called hyper combos. And this is where the players online get you, because they know how to do this really well, and they keep, like, doing it over. So there's different way to play this game. Like, there's a bunch of different control methods. There's the Wii sideways, the Wii remote, then there's the Wii remote and nunchuck, which is my favorite. But that's more for, like, beginners and, like, intermediate players. And then there's also the classic controller and GameCube controllers if you're really like a fighting veteran, because there's buttons all over those controllers.
And then also they have a special like arcade stick that you could actually use for this game, and it really like gets you into the feel that you're in an arcade, and it's really great.
So back to the hyper combos. Some of them, like, they look really cool, and they're like, it's almost like a little movie that plays when you do them. But some of them are almost too powerful. Like, some of them take away, like, drain half your health bar, and you have to wonder, like, what's the fun in that? But, you know, it's only for a couple characters, and it wasn't too big of a problem.
Oh yeah, and also throughout the level, when you're playing one player, you can unlock new characters, which is really cool, so you're not just limited to like the characters that you start out with.
Yeah, so the graphics in this game, they are awesome. It's one of the best looking Wii titles of 2010. There's this beautiful cel shaded style, and it's really colorful. Like,
because it's Japanese.
Yeah. So the sounds again are in Japanese too. The voiceovers in Japanese, except for like a couple. Most of them are all like things you won't understand, but it still sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, like I really like how Ryu, usually when he like Ryu from Street Fighter, I think.
Yeah.
He like when he does his special move, he like yells something in Japanese and then does his like super move, and a lot of characters do that, and that really gets you into the feel of the game, how it's like a Japanese game, and I really like it.
So the coolest thing about this game is that, you know how the Xbox and the PS3, they always brag about how they have Street Fighter 4, and the Wii never got it. But now we can brag that we have Tatsunoko versus Capcom, because this game's like just as good, and it's only for the Wii. It's exclusive.
It's like a really good game. So I would definitely recommend all you people to either rent it, but you guys should definitely buy it.
Yeah, don't be turned off by like fighting games, like, because there's always these like intense combos you don't know about. But this game's actually different because it's really easy to get into and it's simple.
So yeah, that's our review of Tatsunoko versus Capcom, and get ready for our next review of Dragon Ball: Revenge of King Piccolo. Bye.
You can push yourself to the limit, be strong and jump with me. You can fly above the rainbow with me, close your eyes and just believe.
Nothing's gonna stop you and me from getting to where we wanna while the beat is kicking. You know that you're my kindred spirit. Fly with me, JC, and push it to the limit.
You used to hide